Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Dose. Think with me for a minute about a time when you were brand new to something, somewhere, someplace, where you didn't know anyone or you were trying something for the first time. I remember moving to Alexandria almost 10 years ago, believe it or not. And now there is something I did when I first moved here. We wanted to sign our kids up for activities. And I asked around and people said, soccer is a great thing to sign your kids up for. Now, parents, there is something that I discovered that is very scary about signing your kid up for soccer. First of all, when you know nothing about the sport. And second of all, when you don't know anybody in this brand new town. Now, bear with me for a minute. I remember, believe it or not, thinking when I got there, okay, should I bring a blanket or a chair to sit on? What am I even cheering for? Because I don't know anything about this sport. What if nobody knows who I am when I sit down and no one will talk to me? I realize this, it's preschool soccer, but I can remember being new and feeling nervous, feeling a little bit anxious about being there for the very first time. If you've ever felt brand new somewhere, maybe you can relate. And when we're new, all we really wish for is for someone to know us. I wished for nothing else than for someone to say, hey, Katie, come sit with me. Let me teach you about soccer. On a more serious note, there are plenty of times in life where we really want someone to know and understand what's going on inside of us. When someone says, hey, how are you? And we say, I'm fine, knowing full well that that's not how we really are. When we moved to Alexandria, I was grateful for my family and for this amazing church home, but it did take a while for me to feel like I had friends and neighbors who I could call and talk to, express when I needed something. And sometimes for many of us, that can feel like a lonely place. It's easy then to turn inward and we start telling ourselves stories about not belonging, not having any people who know us. I think in Jesus' day, his followers were wrestling with some of these very similar feelings, a sense of loneliness or isolation, feeling like no one understood them. We hear in the Gospel of John in chapter 10, Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. The hired hand, who is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep, sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and runs away. And the wolf snatches them and scatters them. The hired hand runs away because a hired hand does not care for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my own, and my own know me, just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father. I lay down my life for the sheep. Jesus calls himself the good shepherd because he really does know his sheep. He knows what they look like. He knows their quirky habits and tendencies. He knows what they're facing and what they're worried about. He knows he knows you aren't fine, even though you say you are. And guess what? Even though God knows your deep, dark secret, God sees it all. And even then, God, the good shepherd, never leaves you alone. God knows your struggles, your insecurities and vulnerabilities, and God loves you just as you are. Even when you feel new or feel alone, you are known by God. Thanks so much for joining us on the Daily Dose. We'd love to have you hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and catch all of the different videos we add to our ministry here at Calvary. Thanks so much. Have a great night.